we'll be 90 years old, sitting at home in California and looking at each other and saying, remember the lobster and sticky rice we had in Boston? It was so good. We're in Boston's Chinatown. We are actually in front of a place called Gaga Seafood. Why are we here? It's the very definition of a hole in the wall. And the reason we're here is a friend of ours who watches our channel and is a friend, Fingy, who lives over in Singapore, basically recommended this place. He said they've got great lobster over sticky rice and they've got really good beef chow fun. So we're here for the lobster over sticky rice, beef chow fun, and Young's thinking about maybe getting the clams, but we'll decide. Anyway, we're here for a nice, good Boston Chinese food dinner.
First of all, we gotta drink some tea.
We gotta drink some tea.
Here we go.
Yeah. Okay. And I know what else we're gonna get.
Yeah.
We're gonna get the lobster over sticky rice. And beef chow fun.
Beef chow fun. Okay,
Yes.
good choice.
Yeah.
I mean,
We've been told what to eat
Yeah,
here.
from my friends.
A friend of ours from Singapore told us we gotta come here.
Yeah. And then clam. Yes. With the baby clam with the black bean sauce.
You prefer like some vegetable?
You want vegetables?
No, I think
No,
let's
that's-
leave-
Okay, take that first, right?
That ought to be
Yeah.
enough, yeah.
All right.
That's lots of food, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
She's sweating. It was very hard
Every
finding the
time.
place. We walked through Chinatown. This is in a side street, and so it was hard to find. And our GPS took us this way and that way and this way and that way and around, and finally got us here. They could have taken us straight, but it didn't want to. It wanted it to be an adventure.
Yeah.
So we got an adventure. We got to walk all over Chinatown.
Yeah.
We found the place in a side street, and it looks very, very, really good hole in the wall. I think.
Yeah.
You know, without knowing that you should come here, you wouldn't come here. So now we're going to try it out. We're going to make sure it's good, and if it is, then you'll all know about it. Well, apparently they have enough food to feed a small Chinese country here, so it's going to be good.
Wow, that's a lot.
But when you're in Boston, you must get lobster. You must get lobster.
Wow, look at this whole piece.
Okay, the lobster's coming, but we got our clams, we got our chow fun. We're going to try very hard not to fill up on this.
Okay.
You can't have it, no. You think there's enough?
Yeah, let me try it.
Is that good?
Very good.
I love a good chow fun.
There is a lot.
You know, I think I've said it before, in grade school in Hawaii, the cafeteria ladies used to make chow fun, but it always had corned beef and cabbage in it. This has no corned beef, no cabbage. This is actually good chow fun. I like good chow fun. I don't like chow fun with corned beef and cabbage. Do not give me chow fun with corned beef and cabbage, because you get it and you go, chow fun, oy vey.
This is huge.
That's really good.
I didn't know.
This is really tasty chow fun. I really like this.
And the noodle is so soft.
Fingy, good choice. Really
Yeah.
good choice. Delicious.
Very chewy.
I could eat every meal here while I was
is
here in
really
Boston
good.
and
Wow.
never feel like I missed out. This is really good. Look at this. Nice and chewy noodles, great beef, nice and tender. Good flavor.
This is really good too. Wow.
Super fresh clams.
Look at how big. Huge. The clam is very fresh. It's a very light black bean sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I'm impressed. The amount they give it. Who gonna finish the whole thing, baby? Whole family can come here. And the food is very generous.
They fished out all of Boston Harbor for
Oh
this
my
clams.
goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Wow.
Look at
Lobster sticky rice. That's the most popular one.
I can see
Can
why,
I have
yes.
some hot sauce?
Yeah, she needs hot sauce.
Wow.
Think they gave us enough lobster and sticky rice?
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Okay.
That's good. Sticky rice is good.
Yeah. Yeah. Can we?
By the way, we
That's right.
heard that there's a shortage of sriracha coming, and people are now going to the stores and they're buying up sriracha like it's toilet paper. So we'll be out of sriracha in the markets anytime now. Go buy your sriracha, hoard it, you know, and then if we call you and say we need some sriracha, you'll know that Young's got a craving and she can't satisfy it.
This is really
That's
good.
really good, right?
Yeah. Still cooking. Wow, it's hot. Want some? Yeah.
Yes. Yurik, you must have your lobster. Here is my lobster.
Can I? They brought this.
Yeah, got to crack it out of the shell. That's the one problem with shellfish. If only it came already out of the shell. But then if they cook it without the shell, then you lose some of the flavor. So you can't cook it without the shell. You got to cook it in the shell, then take it out of the shell, and then serve it out of the shell. That'll work.
Oh, look at the meat.
Okay, I may need a fork to get this lobster out of the shell because I doubt that I'm going to be able to pick it out with chopsticks. I have enough problems doing this with a fork. There we go. I got it. I got it. Ta-da! Champion. Lobster champion. Now I got lobster all over my fingers.
Some sriracha. Let's see.
The lobster is super sweet. Really good, very fresh.
I love this rice. Wow.
Yes, this is great rice. For those of you who like to eat rice with a chopstick, sticky rice is really the only kind you can. We'll be 90 years old, sitting at home in California and looking at each other and saying, remember the lobster and sticky rice we had in Boston? It was so good.
Everything is very, really impressive.
Yes.
Fried sticky rice, it's not like mushy.
No.
Yeah. What I taste is the Chinese cilantro is prominent
Yeah.
here, and garlic.
Actually, I do taste some of that in the Chow Fun as well.
Yeah?
Very good.
Yeah, really good.
I'm not a big cilantro fan, but it goes well in here.
Make it really fresh.
She's a clam shucking factory.
This noodle is almost like a clear noodle. It's a beef.
Is it? 여보세요? 안녕하세요. No kimchi.
No kimchi.
I've never known a Korean dish that does not incorporate kimchi in the dish.
Yeah.
So this is not like Korean noodles because there's no kimchi, but it's still really good. I'll bet
Everything is
our Korean
exceptional.
family would like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's so many places, especially in places like Chinatowns where you got restaurants door to door to door to
Yeah.
door, and they're everywhere,
Yeah.
and you don't know one looks like another, and there's not a lot of advertising for them. So you just got to assume that maybe this one might be good.
Yeah.
We were told this one was good, and it was. It's really Okay, if you guys come to Boston and you're in the mood
Yeah.
for fresh seafood or for Chinese food, this place does it. I will bet you all their dishes are good,
Yeah.
but definitely what we're getting
Yeah.
is amazing. So the wrap up on this is everything was delicious. This place is absolutely worth coming, and we'll probably come back next time we're in Boston, and we'll maybe order the exact same thing. But next time we're going to bring 5 friends so that we have enough people to eat all this food, because there's a lot of food here. Bring it all home and eat it for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, our hotel room doesn't have any way to heat it up, and I don't know that I like this food cold. I like it hot, but I would not like it cold. And besides, we've only got a few days here in Boston. We're probably not going to have enough time to eat this and everything else we're going to be eating while we're here. But this was delicious. It was a great meal. It was way too much food for the two of us. Next time, the two of us could just survive on one of these dishes, except I don't want the clams. But the rest of the stuff is good.
One of the reasons I really appreciate this restaurant, they really season very light.
Right.
Nothing is extremely salty.
Right.
Nothing is extremely spicy.
You do get the flavors of the ingredients. They're all good. The lobster was so fresh and so sweet. It's probably the sweetest lobster I've ever had. Really good. And you thought that about the clams too, right?
Clam was so good and so sweet.
Yeah.
And it just so big, and just when you bite the shrimp, it just juice coming out of the clam.
And I would say there's 1 or 2 Chow Funs I've had in my life that I would say are the best Chow Fun I've had. This is definitely among them. I've had a couple more that, you know, I could eat that every day and that could be my meal for the day.
Yeah.
And this is certainly something I could do that with. But the flavor, the way they're flavored, the oyster sauce, the way it's covered, it glistens. The beef is so tender. Just enough vegetables in here. He tried to get us to order vegetables, but you know, had we ordered vegetables, it would have been another dish that we would have left over completely.
Yeah.
You know, this food was so good.
We don't like to leave anything behind.
Ultimately, we picked all the lobster out of the rice so that we could eat it because it was so good, but we can't eat all the rice. We can't eat all the noodles. We can't eat all the clams. There's just too much food, but it was so good. Okay,
All right.
well, that's good.
Definitely we're going to be back.
Yes.